Trying to search for that right Christmas gift for your 3D printer hobbies, or wanting to get into 3D printing and not sure what gift or how or what would be a good gift? Well, join me today as we talk about that. $50 and higher. So, see you guys inside. Hello and welcome to today's video. As I said in the intro, 51 and up. So we are going to be looking at a couple more gadgets. We're going to be looking at resin printers, and we're going to be looking at FDM printers. So this video is meant for if you already have a 3D printing enthusiast in your household. Here's maybe something more you can get them. But also if you know someone that's wanting to get into 3D printing and not sure what to get them, or if you're wanting to get into 3D printing and want to get yourself a Christmas present, that's what this video is for today. So we are going to talk about resin printers, we're going to talk about FDM printers, we're going to talk about two gadgets to kind of help out, add on to your environment. So let's start off with first things first. Before we start going to all that, please hit that subscribe button, join the crew, or if you are getting someone a printer, make sure to share our videos with them and get them to subscribe to the channel as well, because the key point of this whole channel is to get you 3D printing easier and faster than what I had to do when I started this. So I'm just trying to teach my experience out and serve you guys with the material and help you get through problems, hopefully before you even have some of them. So if you don't mind sharing, I greatly appreciate it. So leave a comment down below if there's something you'd like to see on the channel, and leave a like to the video if you enjoyed today's content. So let's move forward. We're going to talk about two things before I actually go to the items. One, resin printing. So there are costs with all printing. Now resin printers, they're about $190 starting around there and up, but they also, you need to take into account you're going to need a cleaning and curing station as well. So that's an additional cost. So if you buy an Elegoo Mars printer, they're about $190. You also need to consider getting like the Anycubic cleaning station, which is another $130 to $150 to have the entire process to flow through. Can you get by without it? Probably, but it's going to be way more a pain in the butt. FDM printers, on the other hand, their costs tend to be a little bit lower. In the event of that is, you're going to spend a little bit more on your printer in the beginning, on average $200 to $280, up to $530, depending on what size printer you choose. But the filament, like the PLA Plus that I purchased for my printer, for a 1K spool is about $17 before tax. For a 1K jug of resin, you're going to spend about $30 on Amazon for the Elegoo Mars resin. So there is that's a big cost difference there for the same amount of material. But if you're wanting extra fine, like I'm going to do miniatures, I'm going to do small prints, different things like that, resin is definitely the way to go. If you want high detail, resin may be the way for you to go. But remember, you're only going to have about half the build area you're going to get on an Ender 3. For FDM, you can still get really good detail, as you've seen from some of my models that I've posted other videos on. If not, go take a look at those. You can get really good detail from a filament-driven printer as well. But some of the perks of filament-driven printer is way more materials. You can get TPU, you can get carbon fiber, you can get PLA, ABS, and PETG, and there's more. So it's kind of one of those things, there's a trade-off, so make sure when you're looking at those printers, you know what you're wanting to do, or what your friend or whoever you're gifting this to may be wanting to do with their 3D printer. So kind of take the cost into it. It does have a cost of functionality. So just kind of remember that before we go over to the items over here. So, and as I said, these are just some items you can get. I'm only going to be really talking about items that I have and have experience with. There are far more out there and other things, but this is just some of the stuff that I've had, that I've worked with, and I trust. So I want to make sure that that's known before we actually go to the items. So let's hop over to the tool bench and take a look at the items. We'll see you over there. Okay guys, like I said, $50 and up. We're just throwing out, these are things that I'm familiar with, printers I'm used to working with, and different materials that could be beneficial for the person either wanting to get started in 3D printing or already is and maybe needs an upgrade. So the first thing I'm going to start at 100 below real quick. So, digital laser thermometer. This guy is great if you do FDM printing, and you can check your print surface board, make sure your bed is heating up evenly, different things like that, and check to make sure your equipment's working right. This runs around $59 to $60. They're great little things. You can get more expensive ones. This is just a little El Cheapo, but it does the job I need it to do. So that's one option. So we're going to bump up a little bit higher. We're going to talk about the Raspberry Pi. Now I use this mainly on my FDM printers to run Octoprint. Octoprint is basically a control and monitoring software and allows me to do those cool time lapses and stuff that you see on the channel. That's an Octoprint. Now you can buy these boards for about 35 bucks, just the board. But I recommend getting the Octoprint kits. So it comes with the large scale SD card, it comes with all the cables and everything you need to get started. They run about anywhere between $75 to $100. That's for a Octopi, what was it, 4 gig? The Octopi 4. So, really good one. This is a 3B in my hand. This is an older one. Honestly, don't see that much of a price difference. I don't recommend getting above a 4 gig because Octoprint at the time, I need to go back and recheck, but it didn't support the 8 gig model. So, stick with the 4 gig to be on the safe side. Now you can see, let's talk resin. So, I've got 2 resin printers and a cleaning curing station in front of me. I'm going to start with the cleaning curing station. This one is from Anycubic. This guy is awesome because it is not only just a cleaning station, but it is also a curing station built all in one. Great components, lightweight, easy to use, very simple base system. These run about $150 right now on Amazon, and I don't know what Black Friday or anything can do, but if you're getting a resin printer, guess what? You probably need one of these guys. Really handy to have. I love using mine. It works really well. But let's move on to the resin printers. So right here we have the Creality LRD0002. This guy runs $199 usually. I don't know what the sales are going to be, but if you want to get started printing with resin, this is a great printer. It works really well, very simplistic to use, comes with all the software and a lot of the supplies you need to get started, except resin. You will have to order resin. Like I said, average retail for this one is $199. Awesome printer, handy guy. But let's move on to my personal favorite, is the Elegoo Mars printers. So an Elegoo Mars printer runs about $190 right now on Amazon. This is a Mars Pro. This will run you about $290, $300, so it is a bit higher, but I don't have the standard Mars printer to show you. They look a lot the same. This is a special edition from my mini factory. That's why it's green. Normally these guys would be red. So great resin printer, great for beginners, really easy to use. Comes with all the supplies you really need except the resin. You will need to order a bottle of resin to go with it. So don't leave your 3D printer guy all happy he got a machine and forget the resin. But let's move on to the FDM printers. We've got the FDM printer. This is an Ender 3 V2. This guy retails for about $270. But in the coming months, that price will, I think Micro Center has them on sale at the time of making this video for $259. So you may see this guy on sale. Now, this is the latest Ender 3 model. It comes with glass bed already, some nice upgrades, really well built, new machine, new model. Ender 3 Pro is out there as well. I think it is a little bit cheaper than this one. Then you have just the Ender 3 with none of the bells and whistles, which is what I started on. That you can upgrade and do printable upgrades. There's all kinds of videos and stuff on my channel for that. But I think that one's selling for around $200 right now. So filament printers, to get into the Ender 3, you're looking $200 and higher, which is higher than the resin printers. But here's the kicker. The resin printer, you need the resin printer, and then you need the cleaning station, curing station. Now you can set it outside and let the sun try to cure it, but the curing station is actually a better way to go. So when you add up the curing station plus the resin printer, you're looking at least $350. So where this guy's $279, an $18 roll of filament, you're cooking. And when your print's done, it's done. Now granted, it depends on what you want to print. If you're wanting to print miniatures and little, very fine, detailed items, resin is the best for you. If you're wanting to print bigger things, or just, you know, drones or anything like that, this guy may be your better bet, because you've got TPU filament, which is a flexible kind of filament. You got PETG, you've got ABS, which can be used in car parts. And you've got carbon fiber, which you can start printing with if you make the correct modifications to your machine. So there's a lot of options with this machine that you don't exactly have with resin. And resin, again, you are relatively limited to half the build space that you get on the Ender 3. So this is one of the bigger boys that I do enjoy. There is one more bigger boy that I'm not going to drag out, is Creality's CR10. Now the 10 and the 10 V2 and V3, awesome machines. I'm honestly going to tell you, I'm in love with the V2. I've got 2 of them back in my workshop. If you've seen my shop tour video, they're back there. And I have an original CR10. All 3 are still in my production machines. But my CR10 V2s are usually the machines I turn to when I need to get something done and done well. They're just easy to calibrate, easy to work with. I love the mechanics of the machine. It's just a lot of bells and whistles. The V3 is a V2, but it has a direct drive extruder and a couple more bells and whistles than what the V2 has. I think they're about $30 more, but on average for a CR10 V2, you're looking at $500. You can probably get a CR10 for about $300 on average around now. So all links to these items that you guys have seen in here will be down in the description below. This gets you started up into your printing. If you need something cheaper, $50 and lower to get your 3D printing friend or incoming hobbyist, linked in my video down to that video, showing just some of the basic items, including the 3D printing pin, which is right at $50, that they can use to start getting started, or supplies that they'll need to continue printing. So it's kind of one of those things. Keep that in mind as you go through the holiday season. Don't just buy a printer because it's cheap. That may not be the right move, especially for what your person is doing or wanting to do. So make sure you're checking and making sure you're getting the right thing for the person as they print. So I will put a picture of a CR10 up in the video. I'll probably go grab a snippet from back there when we did the tour, so you guys can see one of those printers as well, as both mine are currently printing something and at the time of the making of the video. But filament printers are awesome to have. They're a bit bigger, they take up a little bit more space, but they're good machines. Creality does a good job with these printers, in my opinion. I really haven't had much experience with other printers, but on my Creality machines, they're easy to work on. I've fixed most of my problems myself without having to get Creality involved, and you know, it's just one of those things. So if you liked the content you saw today, hit that subscribe button, join the crew. I need you badly to join the crew. I want you guys to watch the videos and not have the mistakes that I had to learn through to get to printing. That's the whole point of this channel, is to help you guys get printing smooth as fast as possible. Leave a comment down below if there's something you'd like to see, and of course hit a like if you enjoyed the video. I do appreciate them. So we'll see you guys next time.